Sego Gahalunquas. Actually, let me just tell you what that means. That name was given to me. It is Lady Jocko's name, which is my great grandmother. She was one of the starting families in Gawanoge. And I take a lot of pride in what it means. It means hanging out to dry. So I take a lot of pride in that name, and I take a lot of, I definitely give it a lot of respect because it's something that I really enjoy doing. And
you hear that? Hang you out to dry.
I will hang you out to dry. Yeah, and I won't think twice. So.
Overstanding come in a degree is different from summer. It in the seed of word and sound, in the speed of proceed over, in deep perceptions, can they must color and influence enough. You take it in, you take it up. See it like the
Gahalukwas. Peace, family, greetings. Welcome to another edition of Baba TV. And it's my absolute privilege to be back in the presence of Queen's sister, Galahukwas of the Mohawk Nation. And I know it's another name for that she will probably correct me on, as she always does. I'm so glad to see you, my sister.
First of all, Sego, Stanago, Yungats Gahalunquas, Aguilo. Hello, my name is Gahalunquas. My European name doesn't matter, but this is who I am. I'm actually a long line of matriarch here. I am Ganyat Gahaga, and we are the people of the Flint. And I am part of the Iroquois Confederacy, the Haudenosaunee people. Bear clan mother, and I hold some very important positions and titles in my family. I know we don't go by titles, that's what we're taught. However, you know what, if we don't go by titles and we don't hold on to them, then we're kind of washed away. And we're made to think that we're not as important as the rest of these people that hold these titles. So I like to put my titles out there sometimes. I am a lady. It actually is part of my lineage as well. So you're hearing that first. Yes, we were speaking about lacrosse. And lacrosse is it's a medicine. It is not a commercial game like it's been made. My Lugani, which is my father, played all the way until he passed. He was 72 years old. And when he passed, he was part of the Old Sticks. And the Old Sticks are a team of men, like 45, 50 and over. And they play the game with old sticks. And the old sticks are made of wood. Back in the day, what it would be is our tribes would come together, and it was medicine. It was used, the men would use that time that they had in the box to play medicine. It was very healing for them. It was something that they needed, and it was something that brought the communities together. So there's a much deeper purpose for it. And my Lugani, back some years ago, decided he wanted to bring the leather ball back home to the original place of lacrosse. And it had been here at Onondaga Lake Parkway. So they started that some years ago, where they actually have a tournament for him. And unfortunately, as it stands, you have sponsors who have certain say, what they will and they won't allow. So we have actually decided to do our own version of that, since they won't allow the youth. So we're now going to go on and put a youth team together so that they can play because the grandsons of my father, of the person they're having this tournament for, would love to be able to participate. So that's something that we're going to look forward to in 2024, where they actually start every week now. They all get together. I seen it for the first time a few weeks ago, and it was just the most amazing sight to see, like 25 kids, guys out there playing lacrosse, just throwing the stick around. So that was actually very very heartwarming. And despite what a lot of people think, it's not a woman's game. It is only meant for the men. And the women are not even meant to touch the stick. It is very strong medicine. So that would probably be something that a lot of people don't understand in this day and age. And a lot of people still, women pick up the stick, and you have lacrosse teams and stuff. So, I get the fact, they want to show the respect for the game. However, the true respect for the game is that the women don't play it. So it's a men's medicine game. So that's the whole lacrosse. There's more to it, and but it's actually a great game. It brings out a lot of community. Brings out a unity. Kind of aggression. It's a very aggressive game. So look forward to that next year, working on that.
Nice. As you know, I went to the Christopher Columbus protest the other day, and I recorded it. It's on my channel. I didn't, I held my tongue. I was there. I wanted people to be able to express their ignorance, and they did. I can't say I was surprised at all of the ignorance of the Italian community regarding their hero, Christopher Columbus. And there were a handful of protesters down there, some from the indigenous nations, and they were down there expressing their outrage, justifiably so, with this statue still being up on their land. And one of the sisters came up, and she was protesting, and one of the old Italian men, he got very vulgar with her, and it just was amazing to me, the ignoble attitude, the ignorant, ignoble attitude of a people that still cannot respect others that were here before you, long before you, and you cannot respect, just no respect at all. And I want to leave it there and let Sister, if you could just expound further on that. And the religion that right across from the statue is kind of funny. Their Catholic cathedral, their indoctrination center is right there. And the Italian man kept talking about some of the natives helped us, and some of the native, and I thought to myself, the only natives that I could imagine that might have helped you, some that might have been you might have indoctrinated with your belief in your religion. If you could just go into the history and what happened,
okay,
and what is happening.
Well, and I appreciate the time you took to actually make yourself available to that, so you could share that type of an experience, which is the truth of how the Italian community, maybe not all of them, just like it's not all of the indigenous, it's not all of any community, but there are some of those bad apples, right? So unfortunately, they happen to be, available, and they wanted to be included. So here's to those ones, and I don't have a problem addressing outside of, this here. But what I am going to say is that has no place here. This is Unkwahome land. This is Indian land. Right? There was an agreement that was made. That agreement that was made with the forefathers, was made with the ancestors of the immigrants that are here. Right? And that agreement that was made said that they would live here in peace. They would come and they would be a peaceful people. They would respect the land. They would respect the people that were here first. That is the Nkwenhue. We are the caretakers. We are the ones who are supposed to take care of the land. We're supposed to protect it. We're supposed to protect the water and the air and the people, the women. That's our job. We don't get paid for that. However, we will stand by it. It is the Guyana Lagoa, which is the Great Law of Peace. That is a law that existed long before the settlers came here, before any lineages had their first, second, third, fourth generation here. Okay, these are all laws that were put into place. And it was said, if they did not respect those laws, that they could be shipped back. That still stands. That really does still stand. That is still part of a law that people are not paying attention to. And that is part of what? Immigration, right? That is what these modern day people call immigration. When they come and we're forced to go back to their lands because immigration sent them back. Well, guess what? We have our own type of people that enforce immigration. We're just coming into who we are and understanding the powers that we hold. We were not taught, we were not told as Nkwenhue that we have a power so great that it puts us at an executive level. We were never told these things. So we were always taught to be less than. And that is why we have this issue with these Catholic churches, with these religions that are on our land that have no place here. Yes, I said it. Okay, it is what it is and it be what it be. Why there is no place here for those religions that all they have done is they have suppressed our people so that they can come up. See, there is actually a thing called the doctrine of discovery. That doctrine of discovery is something that actually came over here long before any of these settlers came here, and they said, hey, you know what? If any of that land over there is not owned by a Catholic or a true Christian, they are seen as less than, and you can take that land by any means necessary. Why? We were seen as less than. So therefore, we were already made what? Like we were savages, like, we were just, unruly people. No, we were very ruly people. We had our own governments. We had our own clan systems. We have our own chief system. We have our own system all put into place that worked just fine before the immigrants come. So now it's an issue and it's a problem because it's better than their system. They tried very hard to copy our system, to duplicate it. And they could not duplicate it. You cannot duplicate what we have already done because that is called what? Plagiarism. You cannot plagiarize a government that already existed. So now all we need to do is wake up our people and let them realize that we have a government that has been put in place here for a long time. It's never gone away. It's still here. So these municipalities that are put on our lands understand how they're put here. They're corporations. So once we can start really seeing how we can break all of this down, then it starts to make more sense. Until then, we're just looked at as though, we're just trying to make a big fuss over, this statue, or we're trying to, say this about, this piece of land over here, and why can't, we have, say over this, and we should have, and no, that's not how this works. Now our people are waking up. And now it's time to actually take a stand, understand the true powers that we hold as the original people here. So that statue, definitely, it's coming down. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of time. And we're very patient people. We've waited 500 years. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, so it's coming down.
All right, I've heard this before. I don't really know if I understand the definition. Sis, what is the definition of unceded lands when someone says unceded lands?
All right. Unceded land means that we never gave our land up. We never made any agreements. The agreements that they go by are false. They're frauds. They're fakes. It has been put in stone. It is the way since the beginning that the only way you can do business with an Indian is if they all agree. You don't get to go and find 2 and 3 Indians that agree to sign a piece of paper to say, hey, we just made this treaty with 3 people. Now we're going to take millions of your land. It don't work like that. Unfortunately, though, because at the time, our people were all put into such a duress. We had our chiefs that were murdered. We had our lands that were taken. We had Dawes Act. We had the Allotment Act. We had all of these things that were put into place. So then that meant that we didn't really have any say. We were being pushed and pulled and tugged and trying to figure out how we actually can hold on to our land. Really, we were trying to figure out how to hold on to our kids because they had distractions, right? They had those false flags. This is early false flags. So when they were doing all of this, this created such a chaos that we're too worried about our children and we're too worried about, these more other things that are going on, our own lives. Because remember, this is when residential school is going on. This is, look back in the Dawes Act, when they actually did the Dawes Act. Coming forward, they had the Reorganization Act. They had all of these different things that they put into place, and then they started enforcing on our people. And our people were not as educated as we needed to be to understand how to fight this. So we just had to go along with whatever was put in front of us. Okay, well, you know what? This right here is the Iroquois Akwesasne Reservation, and out and around it here, okay, this right here is the rest of the land that is this is just for the Indian. This is for the Indian and the settler to actually live in peace together. Well, this actually did not stay like this because now it is all encroached on. Everything is encroached on. It is not the way it is supposed to be at all. Why? Our people do not understand the laws. They don't know that there is a law that protects us and says it is to your understanding how you understand what that law says to you. We don't use that. So because we don't use that, we were taken advantage of. We were lied to. We were deceived. We were moved in fear. And around all of that is where all of these settlers and immigrants have been able to come and just plop, plop, plop on the land. When they are allowed to plop on the land, it's like what? It's like a squatter, right? A squatter gets, squatter's rights. So yeah, of course, unless of course you can actually go and you can file for a lost deed at a, Office of Vital Statistics or land claims. If you can go and you can file for a lost deed and say, hey, they lost it, boom, now all of a sudden you just got a whole new deed, right? Even though you don't even have the true title to the land, but you can actually file for a lost one. So there's a way that they have manipulated the whole system in their favor. So unceded territory to me means that we never gave the land up. You don't see my ancestors, any of my family members on any of those paperworks that gave any of our land up. So I can actually go back in my lineage, so I know a lot of who my family line is. Not everybody can, but I can. So you can challenge me, go right ahead. You'll lose. However, for the other people, there's a lot of people on there that did sign. There are people that have gone ahead with these things. Well, you gave that up for you and yours. I didn't give it up. We didn't give up our rights. Our land is unceded. That means we are still going to fight for it, no matter what. Besides, an Indian can break any contract.
All right, sis. Next, you were telling me something about that you have your own government. You have your own government. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me something about that?
Yeah. Well, let's see. It is. It's called the Akwesasne Sovereign Government. Shout out to Thomas Square for putting it all together and putting all that work in. He was actually looked at as though he was kind of a little out there and was just chasing and creating, and no, he actually was doing his work and he was actually putting it together, and it is officiated. It has been looked at. There have been lawyers, liars, legal assistants that have actually looked at this paperwork and can tell you that it is official paperwork. So what it is the Akwesasne sovereign government is our own government. It is not the United States. It is not Canada. It is not these corporations that are on our land. And if you break it down, that's what the United States government is a corporation on Indian land. They do not hold a title. So same thing for Canadian government. We've just been able to learn how we can actually become our own governments. And that's only the beginning, because see, now we're also finding out that we can have our own countries too. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of growth there. A lot of growth. We're only in the beginning of what we need to grow this government. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's a lot of fun.
All right, beautiful. Now, sis, I want to close out because we are on this internet, so I don't want to give out too much. I don't think we want to give out too much unless you have more that you want to say. If you want to just close out, or either, continue whatever on your heart, whatever you want to say to the people.
All right. Well, first, again, I just want to thank you for the time that you take to actually inform the people and let them know the true facts and the truth that's really going on out here. There's still a lot of corruption, that's going on, even behind, even within our own governments, within our own tribes, within our own people. Those are, battles that we're still fighting. Those are battles that I'm still fighting. I'm still right now in the courts. I'm still fighting no jurisdiction. I'm still fighting, both of the governments. I'm fighting the Canadian government, the U.S. government. I'm fighting my tribes. I'm going up against all of them. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I have a lot of truth. I have a lot of fact. And I've gained a lot of knowledge. So I'm going to put that to use. And as empowering as I feel from what I've learned, that is the empowerment that I want to leave for my children, my grandchildren, and for the people who are willing to learn it. It's that important, and we need it. We need that. We need that push. We need that. Them people that are just not going to give up, that are not going to be moved by fear. So, I just want to give a shout out to all those people and tell them just to keep fighting, and we got this. It's going to change. I believe that. I really do. My crazy old quirky line is, the Angels won the World Series, because I love that movie. Yeah, so just keep fighting. Nyawagoa, Ganalunqua.